Down to when he first got here in the spring, I was like, I think this guy's pretty good, but how's it going to translate to Saturdays? And as camp went on through fall camp, it was more of a situation like, I still think he's pretty damn good. And then obviously you saw what he did against Northwestern. The kid's been consistent the way he works every day, and he just comes out and works and does a good job. I knew we felt like he worked, he would fit in our scheme. Wake Forest is a little bit different offensively, which isn't a knock to them. They do a great job. But I felt like in our system, getting downhill now, he's actually been better than I even anticipated he would be. And I don't think he's necessarily, maybe a little bit of quickness, obviously with the COVID year the year before, but I just think it's a good fit for him schematically, and he's always been a really good explosive football player. The kid's got a really strong mentality, and you can see that from the way he works in the offseason and in the game. I mean, he wants the ball 35 times a game, which most great backs do, and he's just got the right mentality to be successful. I think he's got a clear understanding of what you do every day translates to what you do on Saturday. It's what you do on Monday. It's what you do on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on that lead to success on Saturday, and he's really bought into that. I thought with him, I thought he was going to be our guy probably after the spring. I wanted to confirm it in fall camp, but I think in today's day and age, you don't ever think a guy's going to carry it 35 times a game very often. But as we go into it and you realize the way he works, it turns into a situation where, I kind of expected this coming out of fall camp. Generally, we go into each game with some type of plan for how we're going to rotate the back. Sometimes, obviously, the flow of the game dictates how that goes. But for the most part, we have a plan on how to rotate them, and we're making sure that the amount of plays that he's playing isn't all carries and vice versa, and just trying to find ways to get the right approach where he's at his best in the fourth quarter, which I think you've seen him be at his best in the fourth quarter in every game so far this year. Well, definitely hoping to have Elijah back because Elijah had a great fall camp. I think a lot of times guys think you're just selling stuff, saying that guys had a great fall camp, but everybody in our room had a really good fall camp, and it was a tough decision on who was going to trot out too in that first game. Obviously, Elijah was banged up, I think, the last week of fall camp, but he played on special teams in that game. So it's one of those situations where with Elijah, we'd love to get him back and see where he fits in the rotation, but we're not going to play 3 and 4 backs probably in most games like we did last year. There might be some situational things where we feel like that fits best, but Elijah, Jordan, Harold, Dono, and even Davion have shown that they can help our football team win. So we're going to put him in a position that we think is best to have success, whatever that looks like. It's helping a lot, like you said, on both sides. Obviously safeties are getting in the box. It gives you a chance to hit shots down the play, and then when they want to play too high to take it away, we should be able to run the football. So it's a pretty simple formula. You just got to keep executing. Wait a minute now, I coach that. Yeah, I actually demonstrated that today if you guys would have been out there. No problem. There's still some things to criticize because, as you know, with coaches, we're really never happy. We're always looking for the perfect game, and that really never exists. I think with Ken, there's things he knows he needs to improve on, but there's also things as a coach I need to improve on, and we're always trying to get a little bit better. Again, it's what you do every day. The term process gets thrown around real loosely out there, but it truly is the process that you go through every day to try to be a better player that leads to success on Saturday. It's something that I have a lot of pride in. It's something that I believe if you want to play that position, running back, at the next level, you have to show special teams value. Actually, I was just talking to a scout, and they literally keep a roster spot for a gunner. So, if you can show that you have special teams value, it's only going to give you a better chance to have the success in the NFL that you're looking for. I want every one of my guys on special teams and to be contributors in a major way on that unit. It's been very gratifying, but as well as I do, that can change this week, and it'll be the same story, They're smiling in your face right now. You got to take the attitude that, we're going to go out and we're going to work, and the results will take care of themselves. Yes, very, very happy with what we've done to this point, but it's about what's next. You go back, exactly what you said, you look back at it, in the Nebraska game, for example, we did a lot of really positive things on offense, but we didn't finish drives. We got to look internally at ourselves and see what we can do better, because it's not what the opponent's doing. It's never about the opponent. It's about us and what we've got to do to have success. Just go back and watch the tape, and you'll see mistakes that we made. And if we can correct the mistakes we're making, I think you'll see that stuff translate into a 4-quarter game, which is what we're after. I think Harold had a really good fall camp toward the back end of it as he learned our system, because we didn't get him until late in the summer. And I think Harold is starting to take the steps to put himself in a position to help us even more. He's getting better right now, and I think he's going to help us throughout the course of the year. He's doing a great job on special teams, but also I think you guys have probably seen him in a third down role a lot over the last few weeks. He's shown he can pass pro, and then maybe that can lead to more. Yeah. It could be just taking the routine run. Sometimes, we look for the big plays, and sometimes we just need a 3-yard gain. But then you look out there as a coach, and when it should be a 3-yard gain, he turns into a 12-yard gain. So it's kind of that, whatever. Just doing little things with our eyes and things of that nature, pressing the line of scrimmage a little bit more. And he's working his ass off at it, so he's going to improve on that too. I think you'd be lying if you said you weren't familiar with that, that being out there. But I think at the end of the day, it goes back to what we talked about. What are you doing every day? Because the reason he's having success is his teammates, who he is as a person, and the way he practices and the way he trains. And if he can continue to do that, I think he'll have the success he's looking for. The Heisman Trophy, one guy wins the Heisman Trophy. But if you're doing the right things, you give yourself a chance. That's been pretty gratifying for me, just because I know what type of kid Connor is. I always felt like he was maybe a little bit out of place at running back. But, I kept saying since last spring, I'm like, man, I think this guy's going to be an NFL tight end or an H-back in kind of that new school role. And I think he's proven, I think he only practiced that position for 2 weeks during fall camp. So I think his best football is in front of him at that position. So I'm very happy.